The Canyon Shooter series is an arcade-style multi-directional shoot-'em-up flash game series developed by Macrojoy, where you try to make your way from one end of a level to the other, while fighting your way through annoying enemies and bosses using various weapons that the series has to offer. Speaking of weapons, the Canyon Shooter series has featured many cool-looking weapons throughout the series, and one thing I noticed about them is that some of them are based on real-life weapons. On this webisode of Flash Game Arms, I'll be researching, covering, and speculating on what real-life weapons are featured in the Canyon Shooter series. Now, just to let you guys know, I'm not a weapons expert, and I may not be 100% correct with my speculations, so keep that in mind. The Canyon Shooter series also has weapons that are references to fictional weapons, but I will not be covering them in this video. This video only covers the real-life weapons that appear in the series. The pistol that the characters and enemies are seen using is obviously the HK USP Tactical. You guys can clearly see the resemblance with the frame, slide, grip, and sight of the pistol sprite. I'm not sure what exactly this machete or sword that the characters are seen using in the game is based on, but judging by the looks of the sprite, and the game being set in Southeast Asia, from what I can find online, it appears that this sword could be based on a Vietnamese Tonkin Guom. The suppressed pistol that the characters and enemies are seen using is obviously the Walther PPK. You guys can clearly see the resemblance with the frame, slide, grips, and sight of the pistol sprite. The machine pistol that the characters and enemies are seen using appears to be based on the Mac-10, more specifically, the Argentine Patria Model 1 variant. You guys can see the similarities with the receiver, sight, mag, grip, and barrel of the machine pistol sprite. The submachine gun that the characters and enemies are seen using is obviously the MAT-49. You guys can clearly see the resemblance with the receiver, mag, grip, sight, and barrel of the submachine gun sprite. The shotgun that the characters and enemies are seen using appears to be based on the Ithaca Model 37. You guys can see the similarities with the receiver, stock, barrel, magazine tube, and bore end of the shotgun sprite. The orange rocket launcher that the characters and enemies are seen using appears to be based on the MK153 SMAW. You guys can see the similarities with the tube, sight, and grips of the rocket launcher sprite. The olive rocket launcher that the characters and enemies are seen using appears to be based on the Armbrust Recoilless launcher. You guys can see the similarities with the tube and grip of the rocket launcher sprite. The double barrel rocket launcher that the characters and enemies are seen using appears to be based on the DP64 grenade launcher. You guys can see the similarities with the barrels, grips, and stock of the rocket launcher sprite. The bomb that the enemies are seen using is obviously an iron grenade. You guys can clearly see the resemblance with the body and fuse of the bomb sprite. That's it for Canyon Shooter 1. Next up is Canyon Shooter 2. The grenade that is shot out of the grenade launchers is obviously the Mills grenade, more specifically the number 5 Mark 1 variant. You guys can clearly see the resemblance with the body and fuse of the grenade sprite. That's all of my real-life weapon breakdowns and speculations for the entire Canyon Shooter series. I made my speculations based on the military weapons history of Southeast Asian countries, because Canyon Shooter 1 takes place in Southeast Asia, and whatever I can find online. If you guys have your own speculations on what real-life weapons are seen throughout the Canyon Shooter series, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. This concludes this webisode of Flash Game Arms. Hope you guys enjoyed. Rate, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.